Hello, hello, and welcome, lovely writers, to this week's Writerly Wednesday. I hope you have been enjoying a really successful and flowing writerly month so far. We're about midway through October when I'm recording this, and if you've been in the writerly world for a while, you might know what that means. No, I'm not talking about Halloween coming or the end of the year, although that is absolutely true. If you have been writing for a while, you may have been involved in something called NaNoWriMo. That's short for National Novel Writing Month, and it takes place every year in the month of November. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about the 3 things that I think are most important for you to make NaNoWriMo work well for you and your writerly project. Now, whether you are writing a novel or writing nonfiction, it doesn't matter. NaNoWriMo can be a really great way of getting you into that daily habit of writing. The whole goal is to write 50,000 words in the month of November, and the way that the days work out, that turns out to be about 1,667 words per day. Now, if you're not used to spending that much time writing, that can seem really daunting, but it's totally doable if you follow a few things. I will be having more support during the month of November, but for now, I just wanted to outline a few things that I think you should keep in mind if you're going to be trying NaNoWriMo this year. The first one is plan. Of course, none of the writing is meant to happen until the 1st of November, and that's totally okay, but guess what? Planning isn't included in that, and I highly recommend that even if generally you are a pantser, doing some planning will help. Now, I recently created a beta run of some story planning notebooks. I'll try to pop a link below for you on those. But in these story planning notebooks, I have some ideas on things you can do to sort of balance things. I believe in plantsing. That means a combination of planning and pantsing. We don't want to take out all the magic, but we do want to set you up for success, and planning is how we do it. So please take at least the last week of October to do a little bit of planning to help you get the best out of NaNoWriMo. How or why? Well, how is there are a few things you can look at. You can write down things like location or setting, time frame, the narrative timeline, you can write that out. You can write a character list as extensive as you know. You can write down character attributes. You can create, I'd really recommend you write out if you know the story purpose or the ultimate messaging, i.e. I often call it that GPS location at the end of the book. You can write out the 5 plot point plan, or if you like a 3-act style, you can write that. You can try to brainstorm your log line or the elevator pitch. Any of these things are going to help. Do some of them, do all of them if you're really big into planning, but just getting a little bit out to get you in that mode so that when you are in the thick of it and you're trying to get those 1,667 words per day, if you start to feel a little stuck, you've got somewhere to look to help keep you moving forward. That's the entire goal with NaNoWriMo. Keep moving forward. The other thing that I really recommend you do is actually schedule the time in. Lots of us, when we're coming at our writing, think, I want to sit down when the muse shows up. And I believe wholeheartedly that the muse shows up when you show up for the muse. And so what does that mean? It means take a little bit of time now before the start of NaNoWriMo to look back at when you have most felt in flow during a particular day of the week, during a particular time of day, whatever. Set yourself up for success by actually scheduling it in. When are you going to get this done? It needn't be hours upon hours. We don't have to do this. You can do your whole life around writing, right? But if you schedule it, you are more likely to keep to it. And if you need to, go and talk to those people in your life who support you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and say, I'm doing this for the month of November. I'd really love your support, and I'm going to schedule it in like a gym session or something else. You can do this, and scheduling it can help you get it done. Now, the third thing that I recommend in this lead up time, you've got maybe a week and a half before NaNoWriMo starts, I would love for you to start to do some things to get you feeling flowish. Now, what does that look like? It looks like maybe doing some meditation or even some self-hypnosis. If you've got some that are already scheduled, you can go onto YouTube. There are plenty of free meditations you can get there. But this is that time to really start to set things internally. It could also look like taking walks next to water. If you've been around for a while, you know that I'm a big believer in that. It could look like reading in the genre that you're looking to write, or reading outside of the genre. Whatever you think will get you in the mode, and don't worry about emulating somebody else or not emulating them. The goal is to get you feeling in the flow. But right now, we're not doing active writing. We're just feeling it. And that last thing would be even watching. It's okay to watch stories, or rather audiobooks, hear stories. I want you to get yourself in that mode so that you can feel primed, ready, and excited to actually take part in NaNoWriMo this year. So I would love to hear from you. Have you done NaNoWriMo before? Have you succeeded? What did it feel like? Did you feel successful? Whether or not you hit that 50,000 word target, did you feel like you got out of it what you wanted? Did you get the start on a novel that you've taken a little bit further? Or did you start and you found that sort of the wind went out of your sails a little bit in? I would love to hear your experience. Now, as I said, I will include below links to, I've got 2 different cover choices for these story planning notebooks. I don't know if you'll be able to get them, but if you order soon, you may be able to get them before the start. Again, this is the beta run. So if you do buy these, I would love to hear back from you, your sort of feedback on what was helpful and not. I have all of those things, or most of those things that I mentioned in the planning, in this notebook. So it is a mix of some lined pages, some blank pages for visual notes. At the beginning, we've got story plan with your working title. We've got location setting, as I'd mentioned, time frame, lots of room for characters, 5 plot points. Sorry if this is hard to see. 3 end summary, scene breakdown, all that stuff. The entire purpose of this, and after I do it, the price will go up a little bit more once I get the locked in sort of plan for these story planning notebooks. But the entire goal is to help you. Number one, if you like physical stationery like I do, keep all of your notes for each project in one place, so you can have a different story planning notebook for each. But also to get enough plannings, and you've got one place to go back to reread, to get you in that mode so that you feel empowered and in control of your writerly life. That's the entire goal. I would love to hear from you. As always, if you haven't taken time out for your writing this week, I really wish you would take a few moments now to do that. Even if it's, as I said, you start to plan out what you might be undertaking for NaNoWriMo. And until next week, I wish you a beautiful writerly